Hello, my name is Christine DiCarlo, and I'm the American Association of Colleges of Osteopathic Medicine's, or AACOM's, Media and Public Affairs Manager. I'm joined today by Dr. Dimitri Tito. Dr. Tito is a second-year internal medicine resident at the Western Michigan University MD School of Medicine, a U.S. Army captain, and the chair of AACOM's Assembly of Osteopathic Graduate Medical Educators, Residents, and Fellows Council. Thank you, Dr. Tito, for speaking with me today about your path to osteopathic medicine, your experience in a graduate medical education program with osteopathic recognition, and your truly inspiring leadership.
Thank you, Kristen.
Thank you. So first question, how did you learn about osteopathic medicine and what inspired you to become an osteopathic physician?
My passion for medicine started when I was back in Cameroon. So I grew up in a small town in Cameroon, and we had limited access to medical resources. So a lot of the medical care was provided by international physicians. So they would come in for medical missions. And that was my first exposure to medicine. So when I came to the United States, I didn't know anyone. So I had no friends, no family members. So my friend's dad was the first osteopathic physician I met. And I asked my friend if I could shadow his dad, and he said yes. So that's kind of how I got started with the osteopathic adventure. And I was lucky enough that my friend's dad was receptive. He showed me around in his office. I learned about the practice of osteopathic medicine with him and the different techniques he was using, the muscle energy techniques. He showed me the counter strain. He even showed me some procedures such as trigger point injections in his office. So that's how I fell in love with osteopathic medicine. Of course, I did not know how to apply to even to medical school. That was my first time going through the application process. So he actually helped me with the recommendation letters and things I needed to do to get in. So I was surprised when I applied to DO schools, and WVSOM was my first interview and was my first acceptance. And the way they holistically look at my application during the interview, I mean, they knew my weaknesses, they knew my strengths, they knew my struggles, and even more importantly, they knew the fact that osteopathic medicine closely aligned with my love for rural medicine.
Oh, wow, that's amazing. So that was kind of the first person you shadowed was an osteopathic physician. That's very lucky for our community that they were a DO and not an MD.
That's right.
So what has it been like to conduct your internal medicine residency training at a program with osteopathic recognition?
Oh, it's incredible. I mean, it's more than just my commitment to osteopathic education. I realized that as I become a practicing physician, the osteopathic recognition allows me to focus on high quality, patient-centered care, and also cost-effectiveness medicine. In our program, the osteopathic recognition provides me an additional tool to diagnose and evaluate musculoskeletal injuries. So I continue to learn and sophisticate many OMM techniques, and I use that to achieve high level of wellness for my patients. So we additionally have procedures such as trigger point injections that we learn, and I've used it in my patient encounters. Overall, the osteopathic recognition emphasizes on patient-centered communication, along with the holistic approach to medicine. And I mean, internists and family medicine doctors, we need that. And those are key aspects in our practice.
So I mentioned earlier, you are a U.S. Army captain. What attracted you to military medicine?
Oh, that's a good one. So when I moved to the United States from Cameroon, I was only 15 years old. And that was because my parents, they pictured the United States as a land of opportunities where all their children could succeed. So, I mean, my childhood experience, really opened my eyes and gave me a deep respect for life. So, I mean, this country has given me so many opportunities that I never had. And to give back, I decided to join the military. So it's more than just becoming a medical officer. I mean, it's the greatest army in the world. So I aspire to become a physician leader. In the Army, we have the chance to lead from the front. We create an environment that promotes teamwork with the soldiers. More importantly, I mean, we practice medicine in the Army in the most advanced technologies. So those are all the reasons I joined the Army medicine. And I'm also I'm proud to say I'm the first person in my family to become an officer in the US Army.
Oh, wow. Wow, that's great. Congratulations. And yeah, that's also very admirable that you're making that sacrifice on top of studying medicine and all the other, work you have to do for that. So as chair of the Residents and Fellows Council, why should others consider joining the RFC?
I truly believe that the future of our osteopathic profession belongs in RFC, the Residents and Fellows Council. And we as osteopathic physicians, we need commitment to our osteopathic recognition. So overall, RFC provides, residents, including myself, and even fellows, the chance to get involved in educational activities, networking opportunities, mentorship, and even resources to excel as a well-rounded physician. So, I mean, others should definitely think about joining because they can learn about critical issues of our osteopathic profession, as well as resources to implement solutions and changes.
Yes, anyone out there listening who happens to be a resident or fellow, please do look into the program. It does have wonderful resources and networking opportunities. So definitely want to echo Dr. Tito's recommendation to join. So Dr. Tito, in addition to your studies, your training, and your leadership responsibilities, you've also authored a book about leaving your home country of Cameroon to advance rural health in West Virginia. What inspired this book and why is rural health important to you?
So one day back at the medical school, WVSOM, I had a meeting with my mentor, and my mentor asked me why I was so passionate about rural health. And when I told her why, she replied, "Dimitri, you should write a book." So I wrote it when I realized that an emotional and inspiring story about serving the underserved should be told. It's about, just helping the underserved and how anyone, no matter where they come from, no matter how humble their beginnings, could grow into someone they desire. And I mean, in my case, I didn't remember, I remember where I came from. And my book is a story of giving and loving and inspiring and helping and making life about others.
Yeah, and I want to encourage everyone. I did get a copy of it, and I have to tell you, it's really, really moving, and I really enjoyed reading it. So anyone who's out there, please pick up a copy of Dr. Tito's book. You will not regret it. It honestly, made me cry. It was really beautiful. So thank you for writing it.
Thank you, Kristen.
So in addition to, writing a book, you've also published research on a community medical leadership workshop you developed. What makes you passionate about resident physician leadership? And what are a few things that residents can do to become stronger leaders?
I used to think that a physician could choose whether or not to become a leader, but that's not the case. I truly believe physicians evolve from caring for their patients to becoming leaders and advocates in your local communities. So in residency programs, a lot of residents want to be physician leaders, but they're not prepared to face the challenges. They just don't know how they should get into that leadership track. So what we thought about was to develop and implement a community medical leadership program that will prepare residents to become more effective physician leaders. And that's how this program started. And then we publish QI projects and papers. It's been very successful.
That's great. And is there any one piece of advice you would give to someone on something if they want to be a better leader?
I think the first advice is to show up. I think that's what I was told when I started this journey. My mentors told me, hey, show up to meetings, show up to networking events, make your voice heard, join membership of various physician groups, join your medical school alumni and social network. And the second advice I would give would be find an area of medicine that you are passionate about and become an advocate for it. It could be leadership, it could be women's health, it could be wellness, it could be health policy. So find an area and become an advocate. And the last thing would be join RFC.
Definitely, those are 3 great ways for someone listening to develop their leadership skills. So thank you for breaking those down. So next question, from your perspective as a Black medical resident and leader, what more could colleges of osteopathic medicine and residency programs do to promote diversity, equity, and inclusion?
It definitely starts with, creating a survey of the residents in the program and faculties and identify current issues that are related to the diversity and inclusion. And then the next step will be just exploring these topics with an established group of residents and fellows and faculties. So really bringing everyone to the table and discussing these topics on the and really what I will emphasize on will be to actively look and uncover microaggressions and then subsequently requiring mandatory education for unacceptable behaviors. I will encourage institutions to adapt a more practical in-person training instead of just online modules. So, and then lastly, there's a lot of underrepresentation in the workforce, in the workplace, especially discrimination toward hiring a minority faculties. I think we do need more Black Black academic physicians. So definitely finding a task force to increase this representation.
Great. Yeah, those are all really helpful points. And I know obviously February is Black History Month, so those are really important points to highlight now and definitely always. So thank you for those. And last question, do you hope to stay engaged with academic medicine during the next phase of your career? And what more do you hope to accomplish as an osteopathic physician after you complete your residency training?
So yeah, definitely. I mean, I hope to continue into academic osteopathic medicine. In fact, I'll be applying for the AACOM Osteopathic Health Policy Fellowship next year. I hope to become a clinical and educational expert in these topics of medical leadership and rural health. So, so that's my plan.
That's great. That's also a really great program. I know you have a lot of passion for advocacy, so that'll just help strengthen your skills there. So that's great to hear. Thank you again, Dr. Tito, for speaking with me today and discussing your inspiring and transformational leadership, your important perspective as a national osteopathic medical resident and leader, and all of the really considerable accomplishments that you've already achieved. We're all very excited to see what you'll go on to do next. So thank you for taking the time.
Thank you, Kristen. Appreciate the opportunity.